Terence Crawford's message to Errol Spence: I'm ready, spin the block, this is your heads up. Alright, y'all, it's your boy Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. So, Terence Bud Crawford took to social media last night to send Earl the Truth Spence Jr. a message regarding the undisputed fight. His message was simple: I'm ready when you are. Spin the block. This is your heads up. Now, what could this possibly mean by Terence Bud Crawford? That's a very humble, a humbling message right there. And basically, what I interpret that as is, I think Terence Crawford finally realizes after the David Evanzian fight that he could have potentially missed out on the biggest opportunity of his boxing career when it comes to the Errol Spence Jr. fight. I know a lot of people say that fight is past its prime, but a lot of people say a lot of stuff and they're wrong half the time. So I don't think the fight is past its prime. I think people are tired of waiting. People are sick of waiting, but I do feel like people would tune in if the fight is made. But if you continuously make people wait and make people wait and make people wait, they are going to get turned off on the situation and start tuning it out. That doesn't mean that they won't tune in when they actually get it on, but it does mean that people will tune it out in the meantime, and possibly they won't follow any other things that you have going, i.e. the David Evanzian fight. Now, I said humble because I think Terence Crawford has been humbled when it comes to the pay-per-view numbers. I think Terence Crawford truly believed that he was a bigger star than what he is. Now, that's not saying that as a boxer he's not big. His name isn't big. His name is big as a boxer in the boxing world, within the boxing world, but outside of the general boxing world, in just the realm of sports, he's not that big, and you have to be, your name has to carry weight within just the realm of sports. You have to be a household name within the sports world. Otherwise, you're going to do numbers like the Evanzian fight. Now, nobody has gave an official number yet. I know everybody's been reporting that it's under 5,000 buys or it's close to 5,000 buys, but I'm hearing that it's a little bit closer to 10,000. It might be a little bit over 10,000. But that is atrocious and horrible, even if it hit 10,000. 5,000 would be completely embarrassing, but 10,000 is still an embarrassment. Anything under 100,000 for a boxer who's a world title holder and who's been around as long as Terence Crawford has and is, in the 30s, has well over 20, almost 40 fights in their career. That should be an embarrassment because you got other guys out here that are less of a household name than Terence Crawford that are doing at least 100,000 buys. Manny Pacquiao could come out and do a sanctioned fight and do 100,000 buys easy, even though nobody thinks he'll win, but it is what it is. So I think Terence Crawford has become humbled by his own greed. I think his greed has put him in a humbling position to where now he has to go back and kind of backtrack on a lot of stuff that he said. Now, we all know that Terence Crawford's mentioned a lot of stuff. He mentioned Errol Spence. He said he was going to fight Errol Spence, and when he got his opportunity, he ran to David Evanzian. And he mentioned Jermell Charlo. But I think now what Terence Crawford is realizing is that the fights that he wants to make are all over there at PBC. So either he's going to sign with PBC or he's going to do some good negotiation with PBC, because all the PBC fighters have to do is not fight him. And then what's he going to do? You're going to end up having to continually fight the David Evanzians of the world, and the fans are going to chew you up. And it's funny because I think Terence Crawford, once again, in his mind, I think he felt because he's so big in Omaha, Nebraska, that, that fame carries throughout the United States, and that people throughout the United States in small pockets still like Terence Crawford, which is true. But the problem is people see your pattern. They know your pattern now. They know you don't fight good competition. You're only fighting guys that you know 100% you're going to beat this guy, that you know you're way more talented than this guy. There's no chance that guy's going to beat you. So when people start to figure out your pattern, who's going to want to pay for a fight they know is going to go in your favor? People want to pay to see good competition. They don't want to pay to see you go in there and just completely take advantage of somebody who doesn't even have a chance to really even fight you back. So I think humility is the word of the month for Terence Crawford. He had to become humble to realize that he is the B-side in this fight. Now, whether he has the talent to beat Errol Spence or not, that really doesn't matter. You have to accept the terms of the contract and the times for what they are. You know, I think Terence Crawford really wants to be as popular as Errol Spence Jr., but a lot of times it has nothing to do with your talent level. And I think that kind of probably played a significant role with Terence Crawford's ego. Like, your ego is big, especially when you know you're talented. You go back home to Omaha, Nebraska, you got hundreds of thousands, a million people screaming your name, telling you that you're the best at something. But the problem is Errol Spence is from Texas. This is the biggest state in the American Union. I mean, you can't be surprised that he has a bigger fan base than you. When he goes back home, there are millions of people down in Texas. You know, if there's 2 million, 3 million, 4 million people in the entire state of Nebraska, there might be 5 million people in Houston, Texas alone. You know, probably more than that. So, you know, there's no way Terence Crawford could compete with that. So I think he had to be humbled by that fact. You know, Errol Spence is just in a much better market than you. So when it comes to popularity, you're never going to be as popular as Errol Spence is. Your talent level might be similar or close to what his is, but your popularity will never be as big as Errol Spence Jr. because of where you guys are from. It just is what it is. And I think Terence Crawford, seeing those pay-per-view numbers and seeing how fans reacted to that Evanzian fight, and even though he knocked Evanzian out in stellar fashion, that fans now realize that you're only going after guys that are garbage men and house painters. You know, you can't go to another country and get a bus driver and bring him over just because he's won a few fights and try to play that off as championship level competition. You know, I think a lot of times fans, we get taken advantage of by the athletes because they think we're stupid. They think we're not hip to how the business works. And, you know, I think with the internet age, a lot more people are becoming hip to how the business works. And we are seeing these business models, you know, that guys have been using for years. You know, a guy like Floyd Mayweather would have took a Terence Crawford all the way to the top. Now, if Floyd Mayweather was Terence Crawford's promoter, believe me, he knows how to work that duck game. He knows how to work that cherry pick game. He knows how to cherry pick like a king. He's the Don Dada of cherry picking. So he would have took a fighter like Terence Crawford straight to the top because he knows how to play that role extremely well. You have to be a villain to play that role. You have to be a villain to be a cherry picker, because if you're trying to get fans to like you as a cherry picker, the first thing that they're going to bring up is the fact you're not fighting high-level competition. But if they hate you and they want to see you lose, it doesn't matter who you get in the ring with, because people are going to tune in because they think you might lose because they hate you that much. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section below. Hit the like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. And we are Manny.
These Louisville streets. Okay. Gotta feel me. You see, I'm from the other Lou when them 5 from Saints. Players stay around. green like a garden snake. Okay, you see I'm trying to rescue my nieces and my nephews, put them in the prep school. I suggest you approach respectful. In the hood ain't too many intellectuals, so they love it when I flow insightful. The 502 disciple, and plus I ride with one wheel like a unicycle. Brown hair niggas too cool to fight you. They'll much rather aim tools and rifles, snipe you, lose at 10, highlight you. I pull up at a low speed, blow weed, cop serve word, but I proceed. Nigga, we supposed to win, and y'all never gon' eat like the Olsen twins. I got it cheese on the block, weed in my sock, fiends with the rock, PD with the Glock. And out of town, niggas don't believe that it's hot, but it goes down, believe it or not. So my G's on the block, weed in my sock, fiends with the rock, PD with the Glock. And out of town, niggas don't believe that it's hot, but it goes down, believe it or not.